It torrentially downpoured yesterday, and I didn't have an umbrella. And then Sarah's roommate Kristen went out and she bought me an umbrella. You're not supposed to put open umbrellas inside. Thank you, Kristen. This week on James Weekly, I guess first tag videos are a thing right now. So I watched a few first tag videos and I took down some questions that I thought, could be fun to answer. First tweet. I have to look it up. Follow me on Twitter at James_Weekly because apparently there's already a James Weekly. My first tweet was really interesting. So I've never tweeted before. ... Hashtag first tweet. That really is a lame first tweet. My nipples are hard right now. It's cold. My first YouTube video was on my last channel, which is called James and Emily. It was a really, really random video of me and my friend Emily, and we had no idea what we were doing, and we were just answering some random questions. When I got my YouTube channel, my first subscription was Jenna Marbles. Who doesn't like Jenna Marbles? My first Facebook profile picture, I had really long hair, and it was bad. And I'm in the picture with Ryan Grant. Who was your first love, and do you still talk to them? My first love doesn't actually know that they were my first love. So that's kind of awkward. But we do talk quite frequently, I'd like to say. Like, my first legitimate alcoholic drink was probably hashtag state. My first job was at Baskin-Robbins. I loved it. It was one of the most amazing jobs ever, and I loved the people there, and it was fun, and I'm now known as Mr. Ice Cream Stop. My first car, well, the first car that I ever drove, after I got my license, for like 3 months, I drove a car, and it was a full-size conversion van, and we named him Lance. He was kick-ass. He had like party lights. At one time he had a TV, and then the TV died, so we took the TV out. But he was a really awesome car. He kind of looked like a rapist van, except he had a stripe, so he wasn't like pure white. My first actual car was a 2001 Ford Escort, and it was probably the biggest piece of shit waste of money I've ever owned. We named him Winston, after Winston Churchill. The first text that I received today was from my brother, and he was telling me that he's picking me up at 10:45 tomorrow. And the first text that I sent today was a response to that text, and I said okay. My first airplane ride, I believe I went to Orlando, Florida, and it was my first time at Disney World. Who was my first best friend? Ryan Peters. Well, we were neighbors, and I think we met through my fence. We were both swinging on our swing sets, and then we were like, hey, there's a kid on the other side of the fence. Let's play. The first thing that I did this morning was roll over in bed, pick up my iPod, and check Facebook. I have a social networking addiction. That'll be a whole nother video. Okay, this is where it starts to get embarrassing. My first concert was in 6th grade, and it was Allie and AJ. My second concert is even more embarrassing. It was the Cheetah Girls. I actually went with my grandma. First broken bone. I've never had a broken bone before. I bruised my hip bone once. It hurt for a whole entire week, and I could barely walk for a couple days. And I still have problems with it. Like, sometimes if I sit weird, my hip joint feels like it's gonna bust out of place. The first time that I was ever out of this country was Canada, and I really don't know if it counts because it was Niagara Falls, and that's like the most Americanized Canadian city ever. The first movie, I know that I was obsessed with The Lion King a lot. Like, I would watch it every single day. I love Mufasa, and I always wanted to be Mufasa, and I would make people play The Lion King with me, and then I would be Mufasa. When I was really young, I was obsessed with dinosaurs, and so in probably bad judgment, my mom was like, let's let him watch Jurassic Park. I would have horrible nightmares of these velociraptors and Tyrannosaurus Rexes trying to rip me limb from limb. Thanks, Mom. My first detention, only because of the fact that it was winter and we were on the playground and one of the strictest rules was no throwing snowballs. And someone threw one at me, and the person on playground duty saw them throw it at me, and then they thought that I threw one first. I'm being like dragged into the principal's office, and then I told her what happened, and she was like, oh, well, you don't actually have to serve this detention. First kiss, I was in like 1st grade, and I was at my grandma's boyfriend's house. Oh, that sounds really bad. His neighbor girl, who was also in my grade, came over, and she kissed me on his back porch, and it was really wet.
Your mom!
Oh my god! My first Facebook friend was my mom. Now, I remember that because her deal was I could get one if I friended her so she could keep an eye on me. Thank you for watching this week. Thank you, Sarah, for letting me use your room again. If you liked my video, please subscribe. If you didn't like my video, please subscribe. If you have any suggestions for a video, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter. I'll attach the links to my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram down below. I want to try something. If you tweet me before my next video, I will tweet you back. I will see you next Friday. Say hi to all the viewers.
Hi, we're Avatar. It's a video.